Hey, it's Maryam. Today's video is going to be another foundation review. You know me and my foundation reviews. I love foundations and reviewing them for you, especially if you are over 40 and, you know, as we age, we have concerns like fine lines and wrinkles and dryness and all sorts of different things. So I love reviewing foundations for you because it helps me, first of all, and then it helps you figure out which one you might be interested in and you might want to test out. So today's video is going to be a video of Dermablend. It's kind of a foundation pigment. It's more of a pigment, so that means that you can mix it with other mediums. They sent me two of their pigments. One is N25 and one is N30. And they sent these sample size products. It's called SkinCeuticals. They say in this thing it's called Hydrating B5 Gel. I'm gonna read it from here because I don't really know what it does. So it says Hydrating Foundation, 2 drops of Flawless Creator Foundation with Hydrating B5 Gel. The other sample they sent is the Triple Lipid Restore 242. This one acts like a CC cream that you can mix with the pigment. And the other sample is the Daily Moisture. If you mix this, it would act as a tinted moisturizer. And they sent this tray to mix the mediums in with the pigment, and then this brush. I don't see why you couldn't use this pigment in your own sunscreen or moisturizer, your favorite moisturizer. I believe that it would work with any other skincare that you have. So because it's a pigment, it should work with any other skincare products. And it can also be used by itself. They have 20 shades of this pigment. There is very light, fair light, light medium, medium deep, deep, and very deep. They come in ranges for cool undertone, skin undertone, and for warm undertones, and for neutral undertones. It's vegan and it is fragrance free. So let's get to it. On my right side, I'm gonna use this Dermablend pigment by itself. And then on my left side, I'm gonna use it with a daily cream because I figured daily cream would be good because we all have some sort of daily cream that we use or we should be using. So that would be more practical to use something like that. So I'm gonna get to it. Let's start the application. Before I actually apply this, I'm gonna swatch it on the side of my cheek to see which color is actually going to work for me. This is 30N and this one is 25N, but it looks like 30N might work because maybe 25N is going to be too light. Let's see. They both look like the shades are very close to each other. There's not a whole lot of difference between the two. So I'm just gonna go with the 30 and call it a day. So this side of my face, I'm going to apply the pigment on its own. And then on this side of my face, I'm gonna use the Daily Moisture sample that they gave. I'm just gonna put half a dropper in here and see how much pigment or how much coverage I can get out of it. I'm gonna use this brush and just dip in like that. Woo! It's very pigmented. Whoa. Hold on, sister. This is too much. Oh my gosh. Okay, that was half a dropper. So let's see. Seriously, half a dropper is good for your whole entire face if you're using it by itself. So man. Oh my gosh. You know, seriously, this is too much. Can you do me a favor? Can you give me a napkin or just bring the Kleenex here? I might need it. I didn't know I was gonna be like this. Okay, I think I'm gonna ditch the brush and use my beauty blender because that brush, I don't know, there's something about beauty blender that will help me get this blended better. And oh my gosh, I feel like it's already setting. Well, if you want full coverage, this is your stuff right here. It's definitely full coverage. Okay. We're just gonna have to leave the house like this. What? Okay, let's do this. What I'm gonna do is use whatever's in here and add the moisturizer in there. And yeah, I'm not gonna add any more. I'm not a full coverage kind of gal, so this is gonna be, this is a little bit too coveragey for me, but too full coverage for me. But if you love full coverage, this is the stuff, like serious full coverage. Huh. Okay, I'm gonna put this moisturizer in on this side. Just gonna give it a nice little squeeze. Let's just go with that. That's just kind of guessing. Okay, wish me luck. It's applying the same way as it did the other side. It just, it diluted it a little bit, so it's not as full coverage, but it still gives you a pretty good coverage. This side is completely dried. There's no tackiness. It's very matte. It looks matte. There's no sheen or shine to it. This side that I mixed with the cream feels a little bit tackier, and it doesn't look dewy and glowy at all. So it almost matches the other side to me. As far as pores, it does look very matte. So anything that I put on that's matte, and I didn't put any kind of primer or anything like that, because I try not to do that for foundation reviews, because that will kind of you won't really know exactly what the foundation is doing. So I try not to do that on first impressions or reviews. But right now when I see it, because I didn't put any primers on to minimize the pores or anything like that, I could see the pores. I could see the pores. My skin doesn't look terribly dry, but it looks like I have foundation on. It looks like I have something on. Definitely this brush is crazy. It gives you a real full coverage. So if you like sheer coverage, or more of a medium coverage or light coverage, the color is on a neutral side for me. I mean, it was N30, so it's neutral. Maybe, I think once I'm done with everything, it's not gonna look as neutral. For me, it has to have a little bit of yellow undertone, but it's not completely a perfect match. As you can see, maybe you can see it on the camera, but it looks, my skin is a lot more yellow here than it is here. It's more neutral. I would probably go with a warm tone. But I'm gonna finish my makeup. I'm gonna check back with you guys in a few hours and tell you how I feel about it, how it's starting to look. I might put a little bit of concealer under my eyes, but if you don't want to put concealer under your eyes and you use this, you actually may not need a concealer. I don't know, I'm debating whether I should put concealer on or not, but I'm just gonna finish my makeup and then come back and check in with you and let you know how it's working out, and I will give you the scoop on everything. I've had this foundation on for about 5 hours now. I applied it around 11:30 and it's almost 4:30 in the afternoon right now. I went around and ran errands and had lunch and picked up Ariana and everything. So I have been outside. I have not been doing anything major that made me sweat or anything like that. It's just regular day-to-day kind of errands. When I first applied this foundation, I have my mirror here so I can look and see what's going on with my skin. But when I first applied the foundation, it looked like I had foundation on. It definitely looked like it was full coverage. Now looking at it, it still looks full coverage. Most foundations break up around my nose and my chin area because that's the oiliest part of my skin. The foundation looks very thick around the mouth area, but I don't know if it's because I put a big, I was heavy-handed because I really didn't know how pigmented and opaque it was. And around my chin is very opaque, and it's almost wants to break up because it's so thick. It's covering all the redness on my face. It's not wearing off anywhere. So I will check back with you in a few more hours, okay? See you soon. It's been 9 hours since I first put this foundation on, and I am ready to take this makeup off and call it a night. But I wanted to do a last check-in with you and let you know, give you my final thoughts before I conclude this video. I'm going to look with my handy dandy mirror because it's pretty close up. The previous check-in that I did, my face looked matte. I didn't see a lot of oil coming through, but after 9 hours, now I see more oil coming through. I haven't touched up my face with any powder, so there's no touch up, but there's definitely a lot of oil coming through. It's making my texture, and you can really see on camera that you can see a lot of oil here and around my nose and on my chin. The foundation is gone from my chin area. I don't see anything, but I think it's because I touched my face. I did have food. I had dinner already, so I might have, touched my face and wiped my face off. So that could be because of that. There's no more foundation on my nose. I see a very fine trace of it, but it's not. It is gone, and I can see a little bit of redness of my own skin, peeking through. And because of all the oil that has come through it seems like my pores are more visible, and my texture around my face is a little bit more visible. So final thoughts, if you are going to use this foundation, it's good. It holds up for 4 to 5 hours, but after 5 hours it starts to wear off. As far as full coverage, I'm not into full coverage foundations. I feel like I can conceal with concealers and get a good coverage in the areas that I need to, like under my eyes, around my nose, to get rid of redness. And I see myself reaching out for CC creams or lighter coverage foundations, medium coverage foundations. Of course, this was a first impression. I'm gonna try this a few more times and try it with my favorite sunscreen and moisturizers and things like that, and see how I can make it more medium or light coverage to my liking. So that was my conclusion for this Dermablend multi-use liquid pigment. I will do my best to give you an update of this in the future, but for now, this was my first impression of this Dermablend pigment. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I'll see you next time.